We out of left field, it's time to get real with all the juicy hot topics that bring appeal. Like who's a Hall of Famer and who's the best team. Number one up on the power ranking, that's a prestige. Man, the outfield is mine, I'm calling left center. My name is Daniac, a name that you should all remember. Yoni, who you bringing on? Who's the guest spot? They better be bringing the A game, come on, let's talk.
I don't have extra vision. Yeah! That's the key.
Episode 15, boys. And man, was it a crazy week of softball. From just insanity on the field and just crazy results, and the way things went, just unpredictable, and some things that have never happened before, I don't think, in our league. So we're going to get through that, and we're going to try to talk about that. I do have a couple of surprise guests today, 2 to be exact, besides the mystery guest. So we do have 2 call-ins. Something to look forward to. Mitchie 1-0 in the playoffs when it comes to rock, paper, scissors. So there's a lot of pressure on you.
I'm 1-2.
I don't think that's accurate.
You're 1-2.
He's 1-2. 1-2 in the playoffs.
No, he's 1-0 after winning the series.
Correct. And now I'm about to be 2-0.
Fine, but it's 1-2 overall. Let's call it what it is.
Super happy during this. Always very happy during rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Oh, fuck. No. Shift.
Play, obviously.
Obviously. All right. Here we go. It's
what level is it?
Level 1, level 2. Unfortunately, It was last minute week for me. I didn't have much time. But you know what? You're going to get it from certain lines, but you're going to maybe be confused for a little bit. Okay?
As always, hands up when we get it.
Hands up when you get it. Don't answer it, okay? Here we go. This person's career in the league has been great. Over 12 seasons, he averaged .494 from the plate. Thought this year his team could win unrealistically. This was probably his worst season statistically. But he leads his team with an iron fist, and now he just moved down to number 2 on Ed Stock's hit list. Looks like next year he will be on a completely different team. Now, who's my mystery guest for episode 15?
That's a hard one. That's definitely not level 1.
Well,
I don't even know.
Maybe not level 1.
I think the Ed Stock thing makes me think it's feeder, but
is that your final answer?
Oh, yeah. I guess it has to be feeder.
Why? Because I said he's now number 2 on the on Ed Stock.
But I thought feeder was going to be a call-in guest, so I think that's why I didn't even think about him. But yeah, that's definitely better.
And the brand new team and all that stuff.
All right, mystery guest, reveal yourself.
Hi.
I thought he was a call-in guest, so I was thrown off there.
Brad, how does it feel to be number 2 on the list now?
Man, I don't know. Me and Ed, that's a long time ago. That's water under the bridge, according to me. He actually hit really, really, really well in the series against us. He was one of the 2 guys that we couldn't get out. So I think I'm lower on Ed now. I think Ed has bigger fish to fry.
Yeah. All right. I guess it was just good for the poem.
Yeah, of course.
It was able to give them a little hints, but they were able to get it from that. So perfect. Thank you for joining us on the podcast, Brad. Even though your team is now eliminated, but there's a lot to talk about your series. Your series, rough ending to your season this year. We'll start with your series. Last game 5. Scherzer wins 7-6. Now, I think it was 2 games in a row and maybe 3 out of 4 games that your team was up significantly going into the end of the game, whether it be the 8th and the 9th, and you guys gave it away. You had a chance to close it out multiple times. What happened?
Couldn't hit that dagger, I guess. Game 3, we barely held on to win in the 9th inning. I think we gave up 5. We went with a 6-run lead. I think we won by 1. Game 4, we had a 7-0 lead, up, I think, 1 going to the 9th. And yesterday or 2 days ago, whenever it was, it's been a while now. We blew it in the 9th again. So we had issues in the 9th, but hey, credit to that team. Credit to Mally, who was by far the best player on the field, throwing guys out at the plate, making catches that no other shortstop will make. And hey, we didn't get it done. It wasn't my best team, like you said, but we fought till the end, so I'm proud of the effort.
Yeah, like last week, everyone was under the impression, like 2 out of 3 actually were under the impression that Tropic was going to pull through. One person, I believe he's sitting right there, waving his hand, is the only person that said Yzerzer was going to pull it out. Now, Shiv, you and Fogel were both at that game, the 7-6 game. Tell me a little bit of how it went.
That was a good game, a close game. It kind of felt like Flint was in control the whole game. I just think, to Brad's point, they just couldn't put it away. They kind of let them hang around, and they just couldn't tack on those extra runs, get that timely hit when they needed it. And then in the 9th inning, Barth came up with a big hit. Mally hit a ball really hard up to shortstop, and Barth didn't advance, but he was able to get on. And then all of a sudden, you got 2 on and no outs. And the 3-4-5 coming up, and it was just tough from there. But I'll say this: like I had Yzerzer winning, but Flint, that series really could have gone either way. I think
Flint
every game
really came to play. Yeah, they came to play in the playoffs, and you know what? It was a lot of fun to watch those teams play. It wasn't the highest of scoring games, but
it was a very good game.
Big comebacks. It was back in it could have gone either way. Really, it was a flip of a coin. And the Tropics came with the raw end of the deal on that one. And Yzerzer moved on. We were waiting. That was the second game of the 2. After the first game was Mario and Feast and JB. And after that game, we still didn't know who was going to play who. So we had to wait to see the Yzerzer win. Yzerzer, if they won, we would play them. And if they lost, we would play the winner of the other series. Now, that final score was 11-8. Another crazy game. Mario and Feast was down the entire game. Mitch, tell me a little bit about that game.
Yeah. Mario and Feast, it seemed like it was just over. The 3rd or 4th inning, JBC had a ton of energy. They were up 6-1 or 7-1, but I think they maybe had 10 left on base runners and maybe by the 3rd or 4th inning. So they really just didn't put the nail in the coffin. Like, it still felt done, but I remember, like, Shiv and I were up in the game. I came to him, I said, how's this only 6-1? It felt like it was like 15-1 and game over, but they let them hang around, and Mario Feast hung around. And then in the top of the 9th, they piled it on. Their top was coming up, and I think Shiv and I were talking a couple innings before. We said, it looks like in the 9th inning, Mario Feast is going to have their top up, so we may have a game here, and we did. And they really just piled it on, and then JBC was done. They really didn't put the nail in the coffin. That really felt all day that was going to be JBC's game, without doubt.
Yeah, that game went, like, umping it, like, honestly, it felt like by the end of the 4th inning, it could have been 13-0 JBC. It's like bases loaded. They were completely dominating the early part of that game. But credit to Steve White, credit to the defense. They hung around. They got out of some bad situations, kept the game somewhat close, and then they chipped away. Like the same thing they did last night against us. Right? I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but like I saw Steve White earlier today. I said that team's like they're like an STD. You can't get rid of them.
Yeah. Stick around. The thing about that game is no one was giving Mario and Feast a chance to win it at a certain point. Like, it was so much over for everyone in the stands. Maybe but it was so much over for everyone
not in that game.
That I was filming every single one of Steve White's at bats, thinking this could be his last ever at bat in exec, and I wanted to get it on.
White's not retiring. He's not retiring.
He's not. He says he is. He says the knees aren't holding up anymore.
He came to Mercanti today. That doesn't sound like someone retiring to me.
No.
Anyone who comes to Mercanti is good for a few more years.
Would you?
His favorite NFL player was Tom Brady. So if he copies that guy, it's gonna.
Then he should be fine. Yeah. Yeah. So just want to give you a warning, Brad, that last time Shiv used his phone outside, it fried, and he got kicked off the podcast.
I feel like it might happen to me again here. But
so let's make sure you're in the shade a little bit. Yeah. Tell me, Fogel, how sure are you that Salas made that catch?
100%.
Tell us about the catch. Tell us about the catch.
I don't stand at first base when a ball goes to the outfield. I run and I get close when I see, especially that it's going to be close. So it was real. I thought there was no way he was going to catch it. He came running in. The ball went off his glove that was barely off the ground. He threw it up, and then he made like his arm. He pulled his whole arm out, and he made the catch. And it was really unexpected, but that's also why you got to get there to the play. And honestly, it was a great catch.
So yeah, he definitely flung his arm when he was running in towards the ball. There was no chance he was getting to it. He hit the ball up from the ground. Now the question to me was the ball on the grass when he flung it up, or was it definitely in his glove when he flung it up?
Definitely in his glove. I was literally 5 steps away, so and that's why I got there. So he definitely made the play.
I just want to show over here the highlight. This is Mario and Feast. This is JB's last at bat. I believe Mally was batting. And this is the final out when Mario and Feast won the game and moved on to the next round. Take a look.
Malinoff up, 2 outs, game 5. Let's finish this, boy! Down 3. If Malinoff gets out here, JB season is over. First pitch is swung on, and that's hit hard and far, and that's caught by Shane Goldstein. And we have the cowbells are out. The cowbells are out. The cowbells are out. And there we have it. Our cover photo. And Mario and Feast is moving on. We're going to get an interview with Steve White right after this. Cowbell's still going. Cowbell is still going. What a big victory. Way to come back. Congratulations. And here's JB. As their season is now done after letting go of a big lead. 7-1 tonight. Well, it looks like everyone on the team is going to shake hands. Everyone on the team is going to shake hands. Everybody is shaking hands. This is so nice to see. If there's not one person on the bench not shaking hands.
Fucking go!
That's Facebook Live. You're not.
No, this is not live. This is not live now. Whitey, welcome. Congratulations. Big Game 5 victory. Comeback. Come from behind. Down 7-1. You guys brought it in. Now, we were filming your every at-bat and every pitch saying, is this the last one? Is this the last one? And you just weren't ready to hang him up yet.
We got more to do. More to do.
You weren't ready. So tell us about what happened. What happened today?
Somehow we played like shit for 7.5 innings with the bats, but we stayed in the game. We got out of base of loaded jams. We didn't necessarily field early on, but somehow we hung in there.
Join.
We hung in there.
So we were worried that we possibly in the 8th inning saw Whitey's last ever pitch.
I know.
And it was kind of, I was ready to bring out the ball to you, the game ball, and say it's been an amazing career, but you're just not done yet.
A lot of fight on this team. A lot of fight. This is a big hitting, lefty hitting team. We hadn't beaten them once in T2. They hadn't seen the lefty in a week. So the guys
don't give me a bullshit answer right now. Don't give me a bullshit answer. Who do you want to win between the Tropics and Zerza?
No comment.
That's the bullshit answer I didn't want.
No comment. My brother and nephew are on the Flint. I'm cheering for the Whiteys. So
you're cheering for the Whiteys. That means you want to play us next.
I don't care who I play next.
I love it.
I'm just having fun being out there.
I love it. If the Whiteys win,
well, I'll be honest
then we play you. If the Whiteys lose, we play
I'd much rather
Zerza.
play you guys because I just love hanging out after the games with Mitch's bitches. They're the best. They're the best. Can I say that on this podcast?
You can say that for sure, as long as your wife doesn't watch this week. We know it's a family affair, so
I have
let's
a lot of friends on that team, and nothing would be more fun than to go to battle with them and against them.
Sounds good. I'm for it. All right, guys. Good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck this series.
Yeah, and that's That's how it went down. I also want to throw in, I forgot to throw in the Ezerzer highlights. So here, just watch for a second. This is the final out in the Ezerzer Flint game. Enjoy.
The Tropics walk John Gal up 1 to load the bases. John Gal, Eric Hassan, and Adam Malinoff on third. Malinoff is the tying run. Eric Hassan is the game-winning run. Javier Grunbaum in his big spot.
None here, none, boys.
Oh, this is huge. I can only assume that everyone in the outfield's legs are shaking and saying, please, don't hit the ball to me. 0-2. But he cannot walk in this run because that would tie the game with no outs. 3-0, one more, and he walks in the tying run with no outs and puts the winning run at third base. But that is an almost impossible situation to get out of.
Right.
Strike one is called 3-1 here. Can Mark Pino get the ball over again? And the winning run, the tying run is now in, and the winning run is on third base with no outs. And Ed Stock with a possible chance to be the hero.
Let's go. Gotta go there. Let's go, Stock.
Anything to the outfield will surely win this game. If I was the outfield, I'd play very in, which is exactly what they're doing. Rosenblatt, very, very in the outfield. First pitch.
Strike.
Strike is called. Second pitch.
Look at that.
Out. See, 1 out. Ed Stock does not get it done, but Josh Adams, the Bear, sub. Can the sub get it done? Now, if he pops out, that would be huge, as Ephraim Harte would come up with a chance to send this to extra innings if he doesn't get on base. Let's see what Josh Adams has in his blood. We got it. We're good. First pitch to Josh Adams. I don't have extra vision. That's the key. Walk off Josh Adams and the bat flip. And Ezerzer will be playing PSB in the next round as Josh Adams walks it off.
All right, boys. So we playing 7 or 9 o'clock? Do we know?
Wow, did you hear that, Yoni? PSB hits John Gal. That's what I heard. Put that on the pod.
Tell me, are we playing 7 or 9 o'clock?
No, I heard it.
All right, Eric Hassan, big comeback victory for the second game in a row. Last game you came down 7 runs. This game in the 9th inning, down 2 runs. Came to tie the game and then win it on a walk-off.
Don't bring the bucket and dump it on my head, Gal.
Tell me about the series.
The series was an unbelievable series. Both teams played really well. We gave up a lot of runs. We didn't hit well. Me personally, I think I was hitting 120 in the series, but when it counted, we made it count. We made it work. We won the series. Thanks.
Awesome. Wait, hold on. You got PSB next series. What are your thoughts on that?
Our thoughts are we play our game, we'll beat anybody.
Oh,
that's it.
Snap.
Thanks,
Fighting words.
Yeah.
Great. That was it's always exciting and to see Crane running onto the field with cowbells, that was a little unexpected. I didn't know the cowbells were coming out.
That was a moment. That was definitely a moment.
Still don't know what they symbolize, but
I don't know what they symbolize, but I guess I don't know. The guy was sitting on the bench, he had to do something. The cowbells are big. Now, before we move on to the next part of the playoffs, the second round, the first game in the semis, and the craziness that happened there, I'd like to invite somebody just to say hi on the podcast, just for us to say hi to. Just a nice guest that I think everybody would enjoy. Does anyone have any guesses? Any guesses?
I'm going J-Ray. I'm saying J-Ray.
What about you, Shiv?
J-Ray. I hope not. He's going to just blast me the entire time he's here. No guesses.
No guesses? Okay, we'll just let him on.
Oh, look.
Oh, boy.
If that's J-Ray, I'm good, man.
It's the Jason.
That's a
Jason
good
of some
chance here.
kind.
Oh, see, I'm good.
How did you know? I didn't tell
I swear he did not tell me.
I
That's
did not
kinda
tell
crazy.
anybody. How did
He's
you know
on
that?
mute, so. But
You're unmute yourself, Jay.
it was once you said hi bye, I'm like, it sounds like a Jason Rosenbaum thing. So
Jay, wow.
Good. Yeah.
Appreciate it, guys. I'm not worthy, but okay. I guess who canceled on you last minute to have me come on?
Nobody canceled. I just figured you missed the league so much. You come to the field. Might as well show your face. Say hi to everybody.
That's very nice of you. I hope I don't ruin this podcast for all the loyal viewers and listeners, but I'll do my best to fit in with you guys, you legends.
Yeah, well, legends. You're up there, J Ray. You had a couple of great seasons in exec.
Yeah.
Any chance you'll ever come back?
I'm not going to say never. I don't want to make this about me at all, but I'm content. It's nothing against the league. The league came as advertised the last 5 or 6 years, like since I joined it. But keep in mind, I've been playing softball since I was a teenager, and I kind of had my fill, like everyone decides to leave at a certain time for different reasons. And I felt content, especially, like I said, I had the dream ending last year. We had a great run with the bus. Every series was dramatic, tons of dramatic games, and that could never be duplicated. So the fact that we went out a champion, or I got the chance to go out a champion, I didn't want to push my luck this year, and I don't miss it enough to come back. I miss the guys, hanging out, but actually playing, I think I've had enough for 30 or so years.
look what happens when you're not on the bus. They go from first to last right away. So you should come back.
Nothing without you. Nothing without you.
Well, I know.
Name me one athlete that ever left after a championship.
I'll name you more than one. How about? Well, I don't want to put myself in these categories. It's not about me, but how about John Elway?
That's how far back you had to go.
No, it's just the first guy that came to mind because he won 2 in a row and then he left. But
Michael Jordan did it once, but then he came back. So maybe that's J Ray's inevitable.
There you go, J Ray. You could be the Michael Jordan.
Oh yeah, his Bullets era is coming. I love it.
His what? Oh my God! Look who's there.
That's so funny. Okay, we're gonna actually talk about. I know you've watched a couple of games, J Ray. Did you see anything in particular that was great? Anything exciting when you were here?
Yeah, I enjoyed the games, the drama of it all, the heroics. But I was going to say, I think the people who host this podcast are on a collision course to meet in the final. No.
That's the hope for me at least. I'm not so sure that's the hope for Shiv.
Of course, that's the dream.
That's the dream.
That's the absolute dream.
That was the dream.
I can't remember a 1-2 final, so I think that would be pretty rare. But
I think his Zerzer is actually 2, but
yeah,
okay.
We're at 3, but yeah. So, guys, we're gonna jump into the playoffs, but before I do, we have one more call-in guest that's gonna join us for the next part of this. So we're just gonna let him in. Any guesses?
Sean Timsit.
Sean Timsit. What about you? No guesses.
I'm not even going to bother. Fogel has to know already in advance. There's no.
What is this? Elite?
It's got to be Carletti by now. Where's Carletti?
Could be Mitch White. He's been known to have the L. Yeah.
It's a returning guest today who felt it was important to come on for this next segment. Welcome, Mitch White. How are you?
Hey guys, how you guys doing? I think we're gonna have to start a regular thing now. You're only a second-time caller.
Well, yeah, I just first of all, I appreciate you taking the time out of pickleball to speak to us. So thanks for that.
Yeah. Whitey Junior's ask the ump,
Well, second time caller, you were at both games yesterday, and I feel if anyone had a good point of view from both games from an unbiased side, it would probably be you. So I felt bringing you on over here would be a great addition to this podcast so that we can hear it from the outside.
Cool. Very good. Hey, Mitchie Foe, I see Shiv. Is that J Ray?
That's J Ray.
Yeah,
he's like the playoff number one guest VIP.
Brad disappeared.
Yeah. Oh, that's Brad. All right, cool.
Yeah,
yeah, awesome. He's the mystery guest. That's great.
Actually, the mystery guest is has disappeared for now, but he'll be back.
Yeah, cool.
Let's jump into it. Shiv.
Yeah.
13 innings. Have you ever been in a 13-inning game before?
Not in this league.
Definitely not in this league. I think this is a first for this league. 13 innings. 13.
That was a great game.
13 very sloppy innings.
Very sloppy on both sides. Both sides had very sloppy innings. Both sides gave up. I've never seen that amount of errors from the Bears in my life.
I think it was the worst game we've played all year, and we came away with a victory. So I'll take some solace in that. It's probably a good sign.
There were a lot of dropped fly balls like that. People were camping under, and they just. Or what about throws to second base that just weren't caught on a force? It kind of reminded me now. I don't know if you remember. It kind of reminded me of the Blue Jays game against the Texas Rangers. Now, do you remember that they were the Batista home run game? There was just a series of four batters in a row with errors to Andrews, one to who was it on at third base? I don't even remember. Adrian Bell, was it? Anyway, there was just error after error after error that led to a comeback. And that opened up the chance for Batista to smack that home run. I felt that's what was happening yesterday, but you guys were able to finish it off in the 13th. So tell us about that game from the beginning.
Yeah, I think we jumped out to a good start. I think we scored 2 in the first. Got strung together a couple hits. We're playing good defense. We were kind of shutting them down. I think the game was 4-2. Then we broke open for another 4 runs. We were up 8-2 in the 6th inning. Kind of felt like a game we were going to coast to victory. And then, a series of unfortunate events transpired that got the game tied. And I actually think they went up by 3 heading into the bottom of 11. And we were able to answer with 3 of our own. So, credit to our guys. We didn't just pack up our bags and head home. We fought to the end, and we hadn't played a game in 2 weeks. And all I've been hearing about for the last 2 weeks is Rosenbaum telling me how I have no class and no baseball IQ. So I was a little rattled out there, but we were able to fight through it.
I just,
what, Yoni, if I could just jump in, because, one of the key words you said about me when I try to is try to be like unbiased and impartial, which is something that I try to always bring as an umpire. But the most amazing thing that I felt was in that game was not only the physical errors, because that's going to happen. It's going to happen in exec. It'll happen even in pro ball. But the mental errors, Jacob Frankel trying to get Jordan Benzer at 1 rather than just tossing and getting Brucey at 2. Shiv doing a really easy underhand to Logan to the other Frankel and just totally muffs it up. Even Frankel Senior when he tried to pick up the ball at short and run to second to try to beat him. Rather than just toss it to the second baseman. Those are just like mental errors, not knowing where you're throwing the ball if it comes to you. Those are inexcusable. The physical errors are going to happen, but the mental errors can really cost you.
I couldn't.
We threw the ball around way too much. Yeah.
And you know what? In all honesty, in game 1, the person that argued with you the most was Whitey. So it's clear that there was unbiased. There was no bias there. The one that was arguing the most with you was your own brother. And thank God that Whitey Senior was there to break up any potential fights.
Yeah, Senior.
We had all the whites out yesterday.
To Shiv's, to test the Shiv's calmness, and his leadership on the team. He easily tossed that ball. He could have just blown up at Frankel and yelled at him, "How do you miss an easy ball like that?" But he's quiet, composed, and he brings his team together, and that's why probably they were able to pull it out. Some of the other guys let their nerves get to them and everything, and they get on top of each other's throats. And when you do that to a younger player or someone that's at 10, 11, 12, it gets in their head. And then they make more errors rather than, picking up their game.
I want to give some credit.
I'm not worried. I'm not worried at all about Logan. We all have games where we don't play our best, and Logan will bounce back next game, and he's going to carry us the way he has all year. So I'm not worried about him at all.
Yeah, I want to give some credit to Kiki Zerzer, because yesterday in the 13th, was it whatever, in the 11th inning when you guys were down 3, but you had the top of the order coming up. I think Kiki said, I'm pretty sure it was Kiki, that he's like, they're about to tie the game. They're about to tie the game. I'm like, no, they have to score 3 runs. That means the next 3 guys have to score. He goes, watch, they're going to tie the game. And you guys went and tied the game. You're 3 runs. Although the winning run was probably not the right call to send him. That was way too close for comfort when you sent Jordan.
I think it was. Oh no, you send him all day there.
I'm going to show the video. Just if you guys.
So hold on, before you show the video, the only thing I don't like is that he was held for a second. That's got to be a full send. If Jordan Moman makes the perfect throw home and Jordan Benzler is thrown out at home, I'm standing on third base with 1 out. We're still in a sac fly position to win the game. That's a send all day.
All right. So I just want to show you, there was a little stumble around third base, but with his speed, he was able to make up for it and just barely cross the line here. Watch for a second. This is the winning hit by Lior Bensor that he knocked in Jordan coming in from second. And the coast play. Sorry?
I just said the Sephardic Stallion. That's what we call it.
The Sephardic Stallion. This is the close play at the plate and the game-winning run. Enjoy here.
They rolled it down.
And that's could be the game. Oh my God. Oh, he can't pick up the ball. And that's end of the game. And the Bears win the game in the bottom of the 13th inning.
And that's it. That was it. That was the game.
Easy game.
How heartbreaking can that be for Mario and Feast as Mitch Fogel or Frieder as a player on a team that just lost a 13-inning game? How do you get up for the next game?
It's only game 1. You know, I find you're never going to win a series in exact game 1 because it's usually about the team that adjusts better throughout the series. So, listen, I'll be honest. Shiv's got a good team. I wasn't so high on Mario and Feast. I find that they have a couple holes in the field, but they also have some really, really good players, and they seem to be able to hit. So if Shiv's going to play sloppy, Mario and Feast is going to be in the game. If Shiv's going to play properly, then he should probably be able to carry it.
All right. Well, listen. It's only game 1, like you said. They're down 1-0. They know they can hang with the Bears because they hung with the Bears. And I mean, the Bears are a great team. I'm not taking anything away from them, but Mario Feast was right there the whole game. They were able to come back from down a big deficit. I have no doubt that they're going to come out flying in game 2 on Tuesday at 9.
There was one point I actually thought we may not have played that game because I'm like, if this goes on to like 10-20, I'm like, this would be really disappointing, but I was very happy. Whoever won on the 13th, I was just very happy.
What time did this game end?
9:40, I think.
Yeah.
A very rare win by Shiv at T3.
And very interesting,
but
talking about mental errors, Shiv, is that he didn't realize Jordan Moman came in as a strategic runner and ended up where it had Shiv realized he could have walked the next 2 batters and stranded Moman, who would have been coming up to bat on third base, would have been out of the inning. And I think that was the 3 runs that scored. So would have been quite interesting.
I only noticed when he came up to bat after Singer. I'm like, if I had walked those 2 guys, he would have come up and been on third base. I don't know. Their batting lineup confuses me, so it's very hard for me to know who bats where.
Thank God.
Well, especially they had Hirsch batting third, I think. So
yeah, that was a little weird having Hirsch batting behind Ryan Frankel. Why did you not just walk Ryan Frankel every time? Like
because I'm a classy guy with a high baseball IQ who hates intentional walks.
Rosenbaum.
Wait. Can I get some clarification? Why was Hirsch hitting 3 on this lineup that has a bunch of really good hitters? Can someone explain that?
I don't think anyone here could explain that to you.
Brad, it's the same reason why Kobe White, who's probably the 3rd fastest guy on that team, is batting behind Koplovich. You know, he ended up with a 2-base triple.
What'd you say, Chip?
Yeah, but I think they just wanted to stay with what was working, right? Like the lineup they used last game, the Matty Poe spot was filled in the 3-hole, and I guess they thought everything else was kind of flowing well, and they didn't want to mess with it. I'm not saying I would have done the same thing, but I assume that was the logic.
Well, I think you got to get your 3 best hitters. Your 3 best hitters got to hit 1, 2, 3 in exact. They got to get the most at bats. They got to score the runs at the top. So I don't agree.
I don't disagree with you, Brad. I'm just trying to think what might have caused that decision.
while we're on this topic, I just want to wish a speedy recovery to Kobe. We're talking to him. He's going in for surgery. I don't know if it's today. So we wish him a speedy recovery, and hopefully he'll be able to recover in time to come back next year and play again, and maybe bring his uncle and his dad and his cousin with him. So we're hoping to see that again next year. Although my question to you is, would you be playing Kobe White in center field if he can only throw the ball in underhand?
I mean, look, Kobe White, good glove. He's
doing the job.
Glove is one thing, but you got to be able to get that ball into your cutoff.
But
sometimes I saw him throw the ball to right field to throw in.
Ryan, very, very aware of what's going on, goes out very deep to cut him off, and Franco has the arm to make up for whatever Kobe is lacking at the moment. So I don't think it's hurting them all that much, and I think he covers a lot of ground, and he's got a great glove. I don't know who else I would rather have there on that team. So.
Now we're going to move on to game 2 of the night. This was the game of PSB versus Izerzer. And man, did this game have fireworks. And contrary to popular belief, those fireworks did not come from PSB. Not one bit of them. They were all from Izerzer. I don't even think our voice raised once except for let's go, because that's apparently the line that we say. We have to say let's go. But yeah, the score was 11-2 for PSB. Didn't seem close even for a second. Eric Hassan, again, 1 for 4. John Gal, again, 1 for 4. I don't even remember his hit. Nobody on that team had any RBIs.
That's not personal, Yanni.
No, not personal at all. I just don't remember the hit. It's not personal. I just remember him popping up to Jason a couple times in the infield. I don't remember the hit. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it was either way. The hit didn't matter because they didn't score, and they got 2 runs the whole game. Maybe it happened when I was sitting. I sat for an inning. I know Shiv left the game, so you could probably go watch the Vikings and Phillies. So shout out to both Shiv and Federer for both telling me to take Swift yesterday. Shiv said boom or bust, but the boom is much bigger.
1-1.
1-1. Last week he told me to take Tony. Did not work out for me and my week. Yesterday, Swift, 27.5 points. I will take it.
Yes, sir.
Mitch Vogel and Whitey, I want you guys both to give me your perspectives of yesterday's game. Tell me about the game, and then we'll go into the craziness that happened.
The football game or the softball game?
No, now we're talking about softball. We're back to softball.
I know.
11-2. Felt like a blowout. Doesn't seem like a blowout on score. Like 11-2 is not really a blow, but to me, it just seemed it was over after the first inning.
Yeah, so it was similar in the sense of our other series. We really just been coming out firing. We've been taking 4 or 5 run leads, and this we got a 3-run lead in the first. I think we scored maybe another 2 in the second. At one point, I think it was 9-0, and we were hitting the ball. We were playing good defense. We got great pitching. Portnoy, very underrated. I think people are starting to learn. Maybe not anymore, but we got great pitching, play good defense. They definitely gave us some runs. There were definitely errors there in the first. They probably had 5 or 6 errors also. But, we came out firing, and like Yoni said, the game just didn't feel close at all. And they got really frustrated. They were, there was the incident, which I'm sure Yoni's going to ask Mitch White about. And then they're yelling at fans and they're appealing every play. It was just, it was all our game there. So
we're going to start with the incidents in chronological order. Mitch, what happened first? The fan fight or the stock exchange?
Okay, I'm not on mute. So first of all, let me just say this. I got to tell you, I don't know what was with their team. Maybe they had a little Zerzer blood in them coming out to the field. But like Mitchie Foe said, for PSB, out of all 4 teams last night, to be the quietest of the 4 was quite funny. But having said that, I think that Ed Stock started it off. Got their whole team riled up, going after Logan, and it's just really says something about his character, I have to say. You know, for a 45-year-old guy to go and let a certain play get under his skin and go after a 17-year-old kid who was there doing a good job, and putting aside that he like an employee of the league, being an umpire, and forget the $42.50 that he's earning. He would have been much happier, watching the football game at home. But he was out there to help the league grow into the league, and we want more kids like this in the league, not less. So I think he did a good job. I think he got all the calls right. He did it being decisive. He did it with confidence and everything. And he's a quiet guy. He's not a guy that starts shit with anybody. He's not going to mouth off to any players. He's just a really good-natured kid. So I think Ed got them all riled up. And then Mally seemed to have, taken something personally with what I think it was Jared's brother said to him. And, like when you didn't run down the line on a foul ball and he got in Kavari's way, so I think one thing stemmed after the other. We could have probably thrown Ed out 2 innings earlier, but I really tried to keep everybody cool and level-headed, even the fans. And, in a playoff game, you want to be the umpire. Like I talked about this with Shiv. When you come, you want to be almost like unnoticed. You want to make the calls and everything and leave the field and it was left up to the players, because that's the way it should be. Everything should always be left up to the players to decide, and it got out of hand, and we really tried to control it. But I think, it got out of hand, and Ed had to get tossed.
What I know from experience, and I'm sure all the umpires on your umping docket, Shiv, on whatever in your umping file, I'm sure they're all the same. Is that when we come to the game to ump, we come with no bias. We don't care who wins. We just want to get the calls right and get out of there. Like that's all it is. Nobody wants to come and purposely blow calls or change or be the person to change the game. This is not about the umpires. This game is about the players. But in no way, and I'm also a not perfect
opponent.
I'm also not perfect in this, but there should be no reason to ever call an umpire horseshit. There should be no reason to ever just berate or degrade an umpire on the field. They're just there trying to make the calls, and you're there screaming at them in front of 18 other people, 20 other people, maybe more, depending on who's there, and putting them in a very tight spot. And don't get mad if you're yelling at the umpire and the umpire tells you to shut up and go play the game. Don't get mad, because literally they're just trying to get the game played. Like I've learned a valuable lesson.
Yanni,
what?
Yeah. I said at the end of the day, like, everybody's calling what they see. You can't ask for more than that. If you're in the right position and you're calling what you see, are we going to be 100% right? Never. I wouldn't pretend to be myself. So, get in the right position, make the call that you see. Like you said, nobody here is umping a game with any kind of bias. They just want to get calls right. And look, they're not all going to go the way you think they go, and you have to be able to take that. They're league guys volunteering their time to come out and do this, taking time away from other things they could be doing. And it's just not acceptable.
On a cold night. It was a cold night. It wasn't a fun night.
On any night.
To stand around and do nothing.
It's not acceptable to berate an umpire ever.
No. So listen, I learned a valuable lesson. I'm gonna make my New Year's resolution right now for softball is I'm gonna do my best to no longer, I'm not gonna yell, I'm not gonna raise my voice to umpires. I'm gonna disagree with certain things, but I'm gonna do it respectfully. So that's my New Year's resolution. Umpires don't deserve to get berated, to get put down. They're not there to hurt you. They're there to call a game, and that's that.
Well, can I just say there's one exception, unless you're Brian Bloomer in the senior league, because I heard he ruined a game as the umpire. He got in the way of a ball in the 8th inning, and it changed the whole game. Did anyone else hear about this?
Yeah, I haven't heard about this.
And so we'll make it
smoked by Sam Zerzer up the middle. He couldn't get out of the way.
Exactly. The only one other thing I'd like to just add is, and I probably should say I owe you an apology, because I could have easily called speed on one of the strikes that John Gal threw on you. You know, if we face at least 300 pitches a game, like Shiv said, we're not going to get every single one right. I try to be consistent. I think Jason Portnoy, your own pitcher, will tell you that he loves whether it's high, it's low. When I make a decision for the game, I'm consistently in my zone. And yeah, you're gonna miss some of them. It could have been called a speed pitch, absolutely. But after all the shit that had gone over, you guys were up by 10, 12 runs.
Just for the record, after the game, John Gall said, "Yeah, I threw that ball with speed on purpose." He's like, Caddy does it. Why can't I? He thought it was going to get called, but at the same time, I don't think I yelled at you. I think I just said my piece. I think that was speed, and then we let it go. We moved on. But it is what it is, and I'm no longer going to scream at umpires. So you guys are good. You're good from this guy over here.
I'll take the under on that. You won't last till New Year's or whatever.
It's New Year tomorrow, man. For the rest of the year, for the rest of the Jewish year, I will no longer scream at umpires. How's that?
All right, good luck.
Anyways, guys, it's been exciting first game of the playoffs. We have about 2 minutes left. I want to know, who do you think is going to win the series? And is there a team that's going to sweep? Shiv, we'll start with you.
Bears PSB final. I think the Bears are going to sweep Mario and Feast. I wouldn't be surprised if PSB swept the Zerzer. So,
Peter,
maybe that's wishful thinking for our lack of trade slots, but I could see.
I'll go with the chalk to make the final, but no sweeps. It's exact. Next Tuesday, who knows what's going to happen? It's too unpredictable, too hard to sweep. So no sweeps, but I'll go with the chalk right
now. Folks,
saying PSB and Bears are going to win in 4. And that'll be the finals.
White?
I'm going to opt out of the question because I'm most likely going to be doing the umpiring for both of the games, or at least most of the games. So I'm going to say I'm going to defer the question.
J-Ray, last person.
I've never used a room in my life, so no sweeps.
No sweeps, and who's going to win? Is it PSB against the Zerzer, or is PSB going to beat the Zerzer?
Yes, they will.
And is Shiv going to beat Mario and Feast? The Bears can beat Mario and Feast.
Yeah, unfortunately, despite my wishes.
Your old Res Dogs. J-Ray has someone he wants to win in that series for sure.
Anyway, Brad, thank you so much for coming on. J-Ray, always a pleasure to have you. Whitey.